about those children. My son is 1 year old. He was just a few months older than Callan when he was strangled. What about those children and how they must have felt in their last moments? How they must have been so scared, how they must have been so confused because the woman who was supposed to be their protector and their show of support was strangling them. She was in a state of psychosis. That's completely, it doesn't mean anything to me because the law is clear. People have to face accountability for their crimes.
Your girl Corinne writes, I know you're busy, but I'd love to know your thoughts on the Lindsay Clancy case in Massachusetts. I made my thoughts clear on this the moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news. Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away. In this case, they are getting away her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. When Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness.
So who's Lindsay Clancy and what is going on? Buckle up. In January of 2023, Lindsay Clancy, a Massachusetts mother of 3, strangled her 3 in her basement with exercise bands. They were 5, 3, and 8 months old. She's being charged with first-degree murder. The question is whether or not she was undergoing a psychotic episode and didn't mean it, or if she carried out premeditated. So either she's committed for life or imprisoned for life. Now, how did we get here? So after her 3rd kid was born, she started losing her mind. Postpartum anxiety, depression, paranoia, insomnia, and evolving psychosis. And in 2022, she started telling mom and husband that she was having thoughts on her kids and started seeking big-time medical help. Now, at this point, she's on at least 12 different medications, including the antipsychotic Seroquel, which includes hallucinations as a symptom.
Yes, Lindsay and Camelo Anthony are the center of horrific cases involving innocent life, yet voices on the liberal left keep demanding sympathy, leniency, or freedom for them. That isn't coming from Republicans. The victims should be the ones receiving our compassion, not the people accused or convicted of taking innocent lives. When politics makes people forget the difference between victim and perpetrator, the moral compass is shattered. Victim first, justice always. This is someone posting on X. I don't know. I do not want to talk about this case, but something keep telling me I should do. Because I never understood anything relating to I had to do research to understand exactly what is happening. I've seen a lot of Hollywood actors, putting out videos. Some even donating money to support this lady.
Lindsay supporters wearing pink gathered outside court, quote, standing in silence and peace for Lindsay. Similar gatherings planned across 24 states and internationally as far as the Netherlands today. Her attorney tells me Lindsay is aware of this support, and he says this is all about people who feel as though the mental health system failed her.
For Lindsay is the mental health. I don't know if you'll ever have this many women in one place at one time who may understand all of us on a level that others don't. So,
all right, I got a theory. Hang with me. If your children were downstairs in a 2-story house and you were upstairs on the 2nd story, and there was a fire in your home of which prevented you from being able to exit your bedroom door, go down the stairs and get the children, and you had no other choice and you were completely stuck on that 2nd floor in your bedroom, would you or would you not try to jump out the window to go save those kids? Because that's the only way to get down there to them, right? Fight or flight kicks in, you're gonna get out that window, right? What if Mr. Pat decided to, later in the evening, we'll say 4:30, by 5 o'clock she started getting drowsy. He tells her, go upstairs, go take a rest. When she gets upstairs, she finally passes out, lays in the bed. A few minutes later, he comes upstairs. She looks knocked out. At that point, he injures her on the wrists and on the neck. He thinks she, probably because of all the blood loss. A person who's not a nurse sees that much blood, guess what? They are either getting faint, queasy. He thinks she's done for. So he leaves, barricades the door, goes and does what he does. Those kids, goes on his little excursions to make it look like he did not do anything. When he comes back, wrench thrown in his whole scheme because she jumped out that window. It would explain the hands outside of the window because when she woke up, whether or not she was drowsy, whole plan, because that's what a narcissist does. He wants to see the pain in her eyes, the fear in her eyes, to initiate this response. So while he thought that she was upstairs, to his surprise, he comes home and she had actually made it out the window, ruining his whole entire plan. But I think it did start with some type of situation up there where she was blocked in that room and she had no other choice but to try to get out. He moves the bed when he gets back, moves all the things around, maybe even cleans up the sheets on the bed. Has his handprints all over it. Literally, that's all.
Yes, if you take a look at this whole situation, you realize our society is rewarding bad behavior. Yeah, and if you start rewarding bad behavior, always expect things like this to happen. Yeah, because people will believe that there are always people out there that will stand up, create GoFundMe, support them in any way possible. It saddens my heart to see how our society continue to degrade like this. Looking at this, people are divided. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, why are you saying this? Why are you standing?" Candace went her opinion about this whole case, and what I've seen on social media, I realize a lot of people are furious with her.
Chit chat. All right, he did it. Patrick did it. Patrick's the one who did it, not Lindsay. Patrick did it because, I also heard that women typically don't strangle. So awful to even say, but that isn't what a woman would do. They don't strangle. I was actually in therapy today, and my therapist and I were talking about it, and I said, well, what do they do? She said, well, they poison, or I said, oh, or drown them. Like, we literally had that conversation today. And she looks at me and she goes, he did it. I was like, wow, yeah. And now, yeah.
Yes, I don't know if you are thinking what I'm thinking. These people are spinning this whole story to a different direction. I don't even understand. If you look at this, they are pointing fingers at the man instead. The lady admitted she did that. Okay, Candace Wayne came in. Oh, Big Pharma is involved. Yeah, they are to be blamed. Here, they always go free for cases like, that is now where Candace Owens is dictating her attentions. I look through social media, a lot of people are furious with her saying she's always opposite. If you realize a lot of people are going here, Candace Owens always steered into the wrong direction. That is what I saw. They are comparing this case into what we are witnessing with Charlie issue. Now, this actress is saying the same thing. Like, the man is guilty. This other lady struggling to narrate the whole, she's saying the same thing. At the end of the day, this is how you always know. They are donating money to this lady. It's almost $1 million. Ask yourself, why are they doing this? It is the same kind of line story we saw in the case of Camilla Anthony. I'm ending here. God bless you abundantly.
Well, the thing is, can you define...
The short clips you see at the end, that's for a white algorithm. You can always skip. They don't recommend videos again on this channel. So please hit the video, share out. God bless you.
Explain what happens when people know.
They were releasing how much 40 years old, that the sun and the moon were not the same thing.
Us wants to know the strangest part of going.
Yeah.
That's
so.
Wow. Dust Blossom turned into this fabulous actress.
Sunny from The View. I am so sick of you and Whoopi.
Don't do it. Yeah. We will be okay if you.
Diversity for diversity's sake being crammed down our throats.
The Hunger Games.
Loves to work. It's,
was on here in the Golden State.
In 39 days, we will know.
Fun of people. And so this is my life.
Telemachus.
Penelope.
Antinous. Odysseus.